I'm gonna get the 300% on Cuphead, as well as getting every single trophy there is, meaning I have to beat every single boss in the main game and the DLC on Expert. There's also so many random hard trophies to get along the way, such as Pacifist runs on every run and gun level, or defeating a boss with only the mini plane bullets, or even having to upgrade this relic by defeating 8 bosses with it. And if you've already seen the platinum part from my other video, there's timestamps below for the DLC. But let's start off with the main game. With a 7 out of 10 difficulty and an expected 30 hours for the platinum, I figured it couldn't be that bad. But oh boy was I ever wrong. I have no experience playing anything like this in my life. I had never even seen gameplay before, so let's get into why this took me over 40 hours to finally get the platinum. So after I go through the intro and get introduced to the devil and the fact that we owe him a huge gambling debt, I ended up going into the very first level I seen, which ended up being this run and gun. And well, it ended up going pretty terrible for a while, amounting to me dying for about 20 minutes straight. What the fuck? Until I finally ripped through it and moved on to my first boss fight, which will also bring me to my first trophy, called Taking Names. And for my first, I ended up going with Goopy. And well, you can definitely say I was having some rough times getting to understand the mechanics. Especially here when I got to the last phase for the first time. Holy crap. Oh, did I get him? Did I kill my first boss? Wait, what? But after a total of yet again 20 minutes, I finally had it down and beat my first boss fight. Oh, I did it! Taking Names, my first trophy, I beat the boss. What kind of game is this, man? Holy crap. Now, I'm also going to beat this game using only stuff from the main game, meaning no DLC charms or weapons at all. But for boss 2, I ended up getting into my first plane fight, which I honestly did pretty good on and wasn't having too much trouble getting used to it. I mean, not yet anyways. I ended up being terrible at these. But I even got my next trophy here for hitting 20 parries. Oh, parry persistence. And within the first 10 minutes, I ended up beating it on the very first time that I ever even got to the last wave. And well, here's how happy I was to do so. No! Oh, did I do it? Did I do it? Yes, I did it! Oh! And then after the painful half hour I spent collecting all the coins off the next run and gun level here, I was off to what was probably the easiest fight in the game for me. So easy in fact that even being the noob I am, I ended up beating it on my 3rd try and getting an A+ rank. Yes, I did it! Perfect run! Let's go! I knew I could do that one. And at the same time, I had also finished him off with a special move, resulting in me crossing this trophy off the list. But moving on through the fight after that was against these 2 frogs here, but I was able to get through that within a quick 20 minutes. And it unlocked my very first mausoleum. And thanks to a couple failures here, I ended up retrying it a few times and wound up with 100 parries. Parry performance. And then headed into the last boss fight to beat Aisle 1. And I mean, surprisingly, I had only died twice here, with the second one being so close to the end. Oh no, a couple more hits would have been done, which hyped me up enough to speed through it directly on the next run. Which I mean, that's nothing how playing this game on Expert goes later. I felt like I was playing a whole new game. I have to be so close. Yes, I did it! A walk in the park, what's that for? Defeat every boss in Inkwell Isle 1. Let's go! I also figured I'd cheese this other trophy quickly for just taking a shortcut here. There it is, cutting corners. Now I was trying to find Isle 2 and accidentally took this boat ride to the DLC. So I did unlock Miss Chalice, but I made sure not to use her until after the plat. But with that, I finally found out how to get to Isle 2 and I gave all my contracts to King Dice to get access. And this is where the heat really started to pick up. And I mean literally. So the very first soul I decided to go after here is Baroness von Bonbon, which is also the first time I hit the store and started using a new weapon, which was super effective of course, especially against these enemies. But even then I was still having troubles with the randomness of who popped out. Like if this cupcake dude popped out, I was screwed because I could just not kill him for the life of me. The candy corn screwed me sometimes as well, but after a solid 45 minutes I finally had it down, bringing me to fight number 2. Yes! Finally! Which I decided to go with this plane fight for some reason. And this is where my lack of skill really started to kick in. I ended up spending even longer than the last one, totaling to an hour here. A huge part was because of this, which looking back is pretty sad because this became so easy to do once I had it down. But this phase with the eggs was really the killer because no matter what, I would always lose a health here. And then going on to the last one, it was the exact same thing. No! But eventually on my winning run, I went through both phases with only a single health. And I mean, that made me feel pretty damn good. Oh, I finally did it. I finally did it. Yes, that took me like an hour. Holy crap. I even got an A-, saving me from having to come back to get it later for that trophy. But then I went in and finished up the mausoleum number 2, unlocking my next super art. And that leaves 3 bosses left here. And boy am I ever glad I saved that damn dragon into the end. But up first was Jimmy. And even though it was a plain one, it was still super easy for me with only about 15 minutes of retries. Which were mostly just because of this puppet wave kept screwing me over. But right after that was Beppy the Clown, which although a slight bit harder, only amounted to a 25-minute run. I just kept dying at the end to these damn little penguins throwing baseballs at me. What do penguins have to do with baseballs anyways? But on the last run when I got it down, I got sick of them. And I ended up just hopping down there and killed them all too. Which is exactly what I needed to do to beat it. Yes, I did it! Oh, it's so satisfying once you actually finally get the full boss fight down, man. But then that leaves this actual abomination. And I'm not lying when I say I spent over 3 hours consecutively running this, dying over and over and over and over. And 90% of those deaths were because of these damn flames. Probably the worst obstacle in the game, and to this day still make me mad even thinking about them. From this and my many more hours beating this on expert, I have concluded that they have no pattern whatsoever. They be jumping at the worst possible times directly where you're going to be. It is wild, man. I felt like they were tracking me. I mean, sometimes the RNG was nice and they would be chill and there wouldn't be really many jumping the whole time, but other times they were just absolutely rampant, non-stop jumping back to back. And then by the time I'd even make it to the last wave, my nerves would be so shot I'd just completely fold. But after almost 4 hours, the flames decided to give me a nice run and I was able to make it through to the end with 2 hits. So I locked right in and tried to time my super art perfectly. When this happened, come on, please, please, please be the end. Yes! Yes, I finally did it! Oh my god, that took me 3.5 hours. 3 hours. Oh my god, I got them both. Holy shit, I got them both. Holy shit, that took me 3 hours. And after spending 4 hours on one boss, I was pretty distraught. I couldn't imagine what was ahead of me next. But sadly, I also need to complete that on expert and get an A rank. So we'll be seeing my good pal the dragon later. But for now, we move on to Aisle 3, which ups the pain a fair bit, with 7 bosses instead of 5. And the very first one I went in after is Rumor Honeybottoms, which is definitely one of the easiest ones, especially considering I had beaten it within 10 minutes compared to the 3.5 hours on the last. That ending was so easy, what the heck? But I mean, that's how the second one went down as well. Just over 10 minutes and I had it fully down and just bombed through it. But then of course it's back to the pain with Dr. Cal's robot. Yet another one that took me way too long to do. A nice full hour of non-stop runs back to back to back, with just the first wave taking me most of the time to figure out. Having all 3 attacks at once absolutely baffled me for a while, but I eventually figured out to just instantly blow up the middle one with bombs before it can even shoot out. Well, try to at least. And then by the time I hit this last wave, I always had 1 health, and I just ended up getting screwed. I did not have the stamina it took to keep going. But after a lot of practice, I finally got it down in this intense final run with 1 health. Yes, I finally did it. That took me an hour. Oh, man. Holy crap, let's go. Now, thankfully, the next one wasn't terrible, though. I got the first wave down pretty quickly and was just having a lot of trouble getting past the babies dropping bottles on my head. And also the damn mice running around, too. But after just under half an hour, I finished that and unlocked my next mausoleum to get 2 trophies. The first is for getting 5 parries in a row, just like this. Bouncing ball, hey! And the second is just simply for beating it, which unlocks me my final super art, Magician Lord. But that leaves us with 3 bosses left to finish this island, with the shortest of the 3 being this one, coming in at just over half an hour to beat. And I mean 90% of it was just simply because of this stupid second wave with the spinning bottle caps. My brain just couldn't comprehend how to dodge them for the longest time. But of course I eventually beat it. Oh, that was crazy. I got so lucky and all of that. Oh, I got him. Let's go. I didn't even get hit once that time either. And then we got this stupid plain one against this stupid mermaid. I spent the first half of my hour here just getting to understand it. And then once I did and got to this Medusa wave, I just kept non-stop getting turned to stone. And I eventually learned that I could just stay above her head and throw bombs down on her to dodge that part. But how lovely was it for me to find out the last wave was the exact same shit. And it was even worse because I usually always ended up there with 1 hit. And I think this was one of the first things I actually had to look up how to do. And once I did, I figured out I just had had to stay up close to her face and the stone thing wouldn't hit me. And that's when I finally got her, right about here. Yes! Yes, 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 I did it. And then the final one that also took me an hour is the Phantom Express, which looking back on definitely shouldn't have taken me that much time. But I mean, I did waste the first 20 minutes trying to use only the chaser before realizing that the spread is the way to go. And then the middle wave was super easy to get down, and I just kept getting stuck on these last two. But I eventually killed these two noobs and then made it all the way to the last wave with a really good run. Yes, I did it! A trip downtown! I finally got him! So now we can finally enter the casino. But first, I quickly decided to go through every single run and gun level to get all the coins so I could buy everything out of the shop. You know, just to get a little advantage before I go into the hardest fights. But oh boy, were these last two run and gun levels so annoying to get the coins on. I could not stop dying on this first one specifically. But I mean, I still have to get all the pacifist runs on all these levels. So we'll get back into the run and gun levels after. But once I finally collected all the coins after a solid hour and some, I get 2 trophies for doing so. Holy crap, I actually did it. That was crazy. Let's go. Coffer's full, every single coin in the game. High roller. Oh, and I also went to the store and bought him out of everything he had for this one. But that leaves us with only 2 bosses to defeat the game for the first time. And well, of course, up first is King Dice. And let me tell you, this was daunting to me when I first tried it. I was absolutely terrible, and the fact I had to fight my way through so many bosses threw me off like crazy. So I ended up taking a day break after failing so many times. But I ended up coming back more ready than ever, and I grinded this for hours upon hours until I finally found which bosses I was good at. And I definitely was not good at rolling the dice to what I wanted yet, so that was a big problem. Like, the amount of times I set myself back to the beginning was absolutely heartbreaking. No, that is so terrible. But the final run I went through to win started with the poker chips, since I found them to be super easy. Well, not on expert, but on normal they are. I really ended up liking the cigar more on expert. Anyways, I was always trying to go for number 4 in normal, since that seemed like my next best option to not get hit. I mean, it was slow enough and super easy, and I had it down. Expert's a different story, but that's for later. And then on this one, I kind of screwed up the dice roll and ended up on this plane fight, but luckily I beat that, losing only 1 single health. At least it's not that terrible monkey one. But then finally I went for number 7. Since I used smoke dash, it made this one unbearably easy to go through, just dashing under her legs. But that brings me to the final King Dice fight, and I suck at parrying. So here's how that went down. Hey, please give me a 3. Please let me hit a 3. Yes, sir. If I hit a 1, I'm screwed. There we go. Going in with 4 hits. No. Come on. Please die, please die, please die. Why do my parries never work? Please die, please. Yes, I did it! Casino night, finally! Let's go, man! Let's go! Oh, and I somehow also got an A- on that run, so no going back there until expert for me. But that leaves us with the final fight against the devil. And I was over it at this point, so I said, you know what, screw it. Let's team up with the guy. Nah, I just wanted this trophy out of the way. But then I jumped right back in to beat him. Well, I wish it was that easy. What the heck? This is yet another one that took me over 2 hours of pain. Finally got past the first stage and died instantly. And for the first hour, I was only able to make it to the second wave just a few times. I died. Wait, what? That was so fast. What happened? I just could not get past the first part for the life of me. If it wasn't the damn spinning fireballs, then it was the horribly off-timed hoof slaps that just kept screwing me over and over again. And it wasn't until about an hour and a half in that I finally was consistently getting to the second area. And honestly, this area is for sure the easiest of all of them. But I just kept dying on the third one because I was always too panicky by then. But eventually I was able to finally make it to the last wave. And after reaching it for the first couple times, this eventually happened. Yes, got the bomb. Let's go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I still am at 2 hits. Come on. Bunch of free hits. Bunch of free hits here. Get the... Oh, that damn poker chip. No, the spinning blade thing. It's okay. I'm at the end. I got invincibility. Yes! 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 I finally did it. I beat the game. Swing, you sinner. Now, sadly, I didn't get an A rank on this one, although I was super close with a B, but I did get another gold trophy. Souls saved for beating the game on normal, which means now I have to beat it on expert to get that trophy. Yay! But first I went back into the devil fight quickly, because since I already had gotten an A on King Dice, getting one here will get me another trophy, and it's still fresh on my brain, so I figured I should do it now. And while you'd think, oh, he just beat that fight with a B, he's got this. No, I don't. I was here for a whole other hour and a half to get this damn A rank, and I just barely finally got it even with only one single health left. And well, here's how that went. Yes, I did it! Oh my god, 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 I finally did it! That took me an hour and a half after beating it the first time. Holy shit. So now I was on to my next two tasks, which were beating the game on expert and also getting an A rank on every boss in the game. And I figured it would work best if I went through the bosses on expert first. So then once I went down to regular, I could get the A rank super easy. And well, I was correct on that. But what I didn't realize is that playing on expert felt like I was learning the fights all over again on some of them. Like this frog one, for example. I didn't have too much trouble with it the first time, but on expert, I just couldn't get past the slot machine phase for the longest time. Every single time I got here, I'd just die. Everything was so much faster and had way more health. But being on the first island, I figured it would be the best place to get the S rank as well, since the root pack was by far the easiest fight in the game for me. And I was exactly correct. I mean, only a couple fails, but I was able to get the S rank super fast and easy on this one, getting me my next trophy. Yes, it was the S rank, put on a show. And at this point, the rest of World 1 was pretty easy for me on both the A ranks and the expert fights. I mean, the A rank on Goopy was kind of annoying, but other than that, I had no problems with the rest. Like the final one only took me a couple tries here. Oh, let's go. I got the A rank. What was that? Second try on this one? A rank on all bosses on aisle 1. But that moves us into aisle 2. And while this here is what I was working with, I accidentally deleted the footage of me beating the first one, but I can assure you the expert had me pissed right off. Those damn candy corns again. But anyway, we'll skip over the next two since they were super easy. And that leaves me with an A rank and the expert to get on Grim Matchstick, my actual arch nemesis for life now. And while I already spent 3 hours here before, but with this, we're stacking it up to 6 hours total. I actually hate this fight. Yet again, those damn jumping flames ruined my life. Multiple times. So many times, in fact, I started losing my shit.
Pinwheels in my head! Voices! Angry fish!
And the first half of my time was just spent trying to finally get the expert run down. And by the time I beat it, I was just completely flustered. Yes. Oh my god, I finally did it. Oh my god. And then it was time to go back in for the A rank. And it took me a whole nother hour and a half yet again. I just could not get it. But I kept pushing on and on and on and eventually decided to switch over to the lobber. And that completely changed my life in this last wave. I was always getting screwed over by the flame balls before, but now I had them down. I wish I would have done that earlier. Oh, I actually got the A rank with 1 health. I hate this guy so much. Oh, I got the time limit. That saved my ass. Let's go, man. But that sends us on our way over to aisle 3 for these 7 bosses now. But first I needed a quick break, so I decided to go back for Bravo Zulu P26, which is for defeating a boss using only mini plain bullets. And since it can be done on simple, it was fairly easy. I mean, it takes a long time to actually get the kill since the bullets are super weak and they don't have much range, but it only took me a few tries until I got this run down. Yes, I did it! Bravo Zulu P26. It's nice to see a trophy, it's been a while. But let's get back into aisle 3 now. And since this one has so many bosses, I decided to get the easier ones done first. And I mean, they definitely weren't easy, just easier than these other ones. But focusing on the two I had the worst times with here, we'll start with Dr. Cal's robot. Yet again, I had a terrible time doing this one. And there wasn't any specific part. I felt like the whole fight changed from the first wave all the way to the last, making everything so much harder. And then this last wave here just goes so damn fast compared to the last time. But I was definitely right about doing expert first and the A rank after, because every time I switched over it felt so easy on regular and I was able to get it done within a few tries. Yes, that has to be the A. I have 3 health. That has to be. Screw you, doctor, whatever. I hate you. I hate that guy. I hate him so much. Let's go. Only 1 more A to get in the game. But the very last one, yet again, is Phantom Express. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't have too much trouble with the expert here. Oh, yes, I did it. There we go. That didn't take too long. It was more getting the A rank that I couldn't do. 1 health off again, I'm guessing. It's gonna be, yep, B+. Even with the extra health charm on. But about 10 retries in, and I had finally gotten to the train with 3 hits left. Let's fucking go, man! Mayor! Let's go! But now that leaves King Dice on Expert and the Devil on Expert. And once they're done, I'll finally have accomplished this feat I did not think I would be able to do. So I started out with King Dice, and I had spent about an hour here trying to learn all the enemies. But I was feeling so burnt out, so I switched over to the Devil fight to try that. And oh man, am I glad I did. It didn't really seem much harder on Expert to me, to be honest. I literally beat it within my first 4 tries. I really don't think anything changed besides it being maybe a little bit faster. Yes, I did it! Oh, that didn't take long. Let's go. Now it's just King Dice left. But that means I couldn't put it off any longer, because King Dice is all that's left. So like before, I just spent a while getting to learn my bosses, and which ones I could do the easiest. And after a solid hour, I had that end dice rolling down, which was a big bonus for me. And the path I figured best to start off with an Expert went with 3 first, since I found the cigar to be super easy and I could get through it every time without even getting hit. And I mean, hitting retry a few times to make sure I got an extra health from it never hurt nobody. But then for the next, I would go for number 5 against the rabbit, which was yet again beyond easy. Just hitting the parry screwed me sometimes. But anyhow, the last one was of course the 8 ball, because I mean, come on, you barely have to do anything here. But that finally brings us to King Dice. And like I said, I suck at parrying. And since this one requires multiple waves of it, I was having a fair bit of troubles. I saved up my super every single time, and even then I just couldn't get close to the end. So I just had to keep retrying it multiple times to practice the parrying, so I could finally get a grip on it right at the end of the game. But way too much time later, here is the final run. Holy shit, I did it! Holy shit, I did it! Holy shit, game is done on Expert. That took me 4.5 hours. Oh my god. Now I also had to do one more thing here at King Dice, which I saved until I was good at fighting him. I had to finish the fight with 3 health still remaining, and while after all that BS on regular, it was nothing to me, and only 3 tries in is when this happened. Why is he glitched? What's happening? What just happened? I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't even care. I'll take it. Give me that trophy. Thank you for the glitch, game. That's amazing. But that leaves us with one final trophy to get this platinum. Pacifist runs. And I left these for last because they honestly sounded pretty deadly. But with all the skills I've accumulated, they turned out to be so much easier than I thought. Especially since I already got every single coin from them. Like the first one was literally done on my 5th try. Yes, I did get it. Sweet. And of course they got harder as you go. So number 2 was a bit worse, but I was done that within 10 minutes and on to number 3, which I thought was going to be terrible. But it turns out all I had to do was make sure I got 5 parries right at the start and I could cheese this whole area using invincibility. Then all I had to do was waste my health diving through the mini bosses on my way to the end. I mean, I died at this hot dog one time, but whatever. Oh, I jumped over his head. But the next was a whole different story. I hate the flipping sides of the screen, it screws me up so much. But just like the last, I had to collect 5 parries off the rip from these ducks, and then basically dive bomb my way through while dodging everything and flipping sides of the screen all at once. Pretty terrible. And it took me about 20 minutes until I finally got this lucky free run through to the end. And now for the final 2. These are so terrible to go through, and it's so hard to not hit an enemy. Like for this one, every jump has to be timed and landed so perfectly to be able to get through. And then once you do, there's a whole elevator ride where enemies just do not stop spawning. But I mean, as soon as I could figure those parts out, I was home free with the last platforming part. It's done. It's over. I got it. Yes. And then unlike any others, we have this terrible one with the stupid flying fish. And it also took me the combined time of every other pacifist run together. Even starting with 5 health was barely ever enough to even get halfway for me. Either the flying fish or the spiky things, it was always something, like damn Larry the Lobster over here. But the final thing I could just never ever get done was this last octopus ride. I knew how close I was to the platinum and my nerves would just shoot through the roof, resulting in, well, this. And I eventually was consistently getting to the octopus, but I still just could not get it down. Well, until this finally happened. Damn it, there goes number 2. Yes, did I do it? Oh my god. Oh my god, the invisibility actually saved my ass that time. Pacifist, let's go. Oh my god. Grand up for oh my god. Holy shit. This platinum was my hardest ever. Oh, that was so brutal. That took me like 40 plus hours. Now, this was probably the hardest game I've ever played. And if it wasn't for the retries, this death count would be a lot higher. But let's get into the DLC now. So after my boat ride over and meeting my new friendly pal here, I was off to explore the new island. And I came across my very first boss here, the Moonshine Mob. And since it was my very first fight here, I wasn't in too much pain yet. The first wave was easy, just the second was a little bit miserable to figure out. But the final one where you have to dodge this anteater's tongue is where I kept getting stuck and dying. But when I finally figured it out, I got tricked yet again and almost lost because of it. Oh, knockout. Let's go. There we go. First boss down. That was different than... Wait, what? Why did it say knockout and I'm still fighting? What the... What's happening? What is this? Okay, there we go. Knockout. Oh my god. I almost put the controller down. Alive and kicking. First trophy in the DLC. But as I was walking up to the next area, this ladder dropped in front of me. And I just couldn't resist to climb it. But it brings us to the King of Games, which for now is multiple different fights one by one. And the very first one is an absolute piece of cake. But I was despicably bad at the second one. You know, since it involved some crazy parrying. And while it's safe to say I was still brutal at it. But after about 15 minutes, I did finally figure it out. Yes, there it is. He was right about to kill me too. I was also able to complete the third one, but since I have to run all of them in a row later for a trophy, we'll come back to that in a minute. But for now, I decided to quickly grab a trophy off the list for having 9 health at one time. And when I googled how to get it, I found this craziness out. There's absolutely no way this is real. No way. It is real. What? There's no way. What the heck, man? And then all I had to do was start up a fight and it popped right away. Already, there it is. I actually have 9 HP. But after that, I beat my next boss with this stupid flip around the screen phase. Let me tell you, on expert, this killed me. But then I jumped right back into the King of Games to finish off those fights. And once I defeat the last one for the first time, I unlocked this. Oh, look, I did it. Checkmate. But I also unlocked the ability to defeat them all in a row now for another fight. And this honestly sounded a lot harder than it is. I thought I would only have my 4 hits for all 5 fights, but it turns out that you restart with full health every fight, which makes it so much easier. So I just had to fly through all 5 in a row without dying. I mean, there was a couple failures near the end, but I was always able to make it through the first 3 with no problems at all. The 4th one, however, was a bit harder, depending on the RNG of the heads dropping. Probably the most fun one as well. And then finally the last one, and definitely the hardest. All because of the crazy amount of items you have to dodge. I mean, the terribly aimed cannons don't help much either, but here's the final hit. Oh, I did it! Oh, a king's admiration. It gives me a trophy. Let's go. But now with that out of the way, it was time to run through the next 3 bosses that were in my way. Starting with Esther Winchester, which turned out to be super easy, and I did literally run right through it. There we go, knockout. But the next one was a bit of a terrible time for me. And by that, I mean I ended up failing this fight on repeat for a full 35 minutes. The second wave was so painful for me, I just could not for the life of me get it down. Which is exactly how expert will go yet again later. Which sadly isn't even needed for any trophies. So I'll just be defeating them all on expert solely for the 300% in-game. But at least on this run, I was able to get a trophy for defeating the boss with a new DLC weapon. Yes, I did it with the new weapon too, so I got the trophy. Let's go. The latest sensation. Defeat a boss with Pork Ryan's new weapons. And then finally the last boss here. And also what seemed to be the easiest, with it only taking me 8 minutes to fly through. And once done, I get my trophy for defeating every boss in Inkwell Isle 4. Let's go. That one was so easy. Every boss? I got them all already? Which isn't exactly every boss yet. It turns out Saltbaker is evil. Big surprise, huh? So now it's time to face him for the first time. Now this first phase here was something else. It took me quite the trial and error to be able to pay attention to everything that was happening all at once. But I mean, surprisingly, it took me a bit less time to finish than the snow one did, because as soon as I did finish the first wave and got a hold of the second one, it was so easy from there, especially from the last part where I finally got him. I even ended up getting the A rank here, which isn't necessary for the trophy, but still cool. Oh, I got him. Oh, compliments to the chef. Oh, I was about to die. I was focused on the power-up. I've never used that one before. Let's go. And there's also still one more secret boss I have to beat to unlock a trophy. And after talking to these contestants, they each give me a direction I have to go press on these tombstones, which brings me into here to fight the angel and the devil, which I'm not gonna lie, was really confusing at first, trying to figure out which way I had to face, and resulted in, well, moments like this. This is so confusing. But after only a few tries, I ended up finding this out to breeze through it. Oh shit, I found the method. I just don't move. Okay, I have to move sometimes. Oh, I did it! A horrible night to have a curse. Let's go. Now there's only 2 quick trophies to get out of the way, and then time for A ranks. And the first I also ended up getting on my very first try. All I had to do was jump into the plane fight and make sure not to shoot a single one of these flying cows, otherwise known as minions. And then once I beat the fight, I got this. Yeah, let's go. First try. The hi-hat. And for the second one, I just went back to the first fight here and had to finish it off by using one of Miss Chalice's new super arts, just like so. Now let's get into the A ranks. And just like the main game, I also did the expert runs at the same time. I mean, on the Moonshine Mob, I already had an A, so all I had to do here was the expert run, which was definitely the easiest one to complete on expert. Well, maybe not as easy as this one here. I ended up beating this one within my very first few tries. And on top of that, I even popped the A rank, getting them both out of the way all at once, leaving me with only the other 3 main bosses to go through. Starting with another one, I got both the expert and the A at the same time, although it might have taken me a half an hour to do so. And mostly just because on this wave, I was just too scared to go down low, and would stay up top the whole time shooting, which ended up dragging the wave out way too long and just didn't end up playing out so well. But I eventually got ballsy enough to fly through it all and just bombed through it. I mean, besides the last wave, that was way faster than on regular. But once I got it down, I got this nice run. Yes! I was just about to get hit, I think, too. Yes, sir. And then onto this screen-flipping monstrosity. I didn't have much problems at all getting through every other wave, but having to survive through a full wave of screen flipping around every side with the weirdest controls and multiple items flying at you definitely isn't fun. But I eventually lived through the first full wave and made it to the next one for this reaction. Come on, please be the end. Please. Yes! Finally, man. Oh my god, this one stressed me out so much. That took way too long. That was like over an hour at least. Now, sadly, I was one single hit off the A rank, but since I had mastered it on expert, now regular felt like slow motion to me, and I was able to get the run done on my very first try. Yes! Oh, an A even, not even a minus. Let's go! Leaving the final A rank to get on this terrible snowman, which for the very first time so far, expert made the first wave super hard to get through. Trying to jump through all these little pointy dudes is very annoying, but the sheer speed that the second wave gets up to is way more annoying. I mean, if I even lost focus for 1 second, I would get smoked by something like a damn flying popsicle. Well, I'm very sad to say I spent about 2 hours here fighting this snowman, dying non-stop in pure agony. Well, until I found my new best friend here eventually, the crack shot. Up until now, I had been using my same old weapons I used through the whole main game. But once I switched over, I very quickly realized how much better it was, and within only a few tries, I ended up finally breaking through those first few waves fairly unscathed, and I ended up doing this. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my god, I got it. What is that for? Oh, I got the A rank on it too. Oh my god, I beat the expert and the A ranks. Oh, this last one took me like 2 hours. Why was that one so painful on expert? It wasn't that bad on regular. But now there's only 2 trophies left before the hardest challenges in the DLC. And the first one is something super easy. I just had to defeat 10 different bosses with Miss Chalice. And well, I only needed a couple more, which could also be done on simple. So I just went back to aisle 1 to whoop some ass, and it got me this. Yeah, there it is. Decadent. And now the other one is for fully upgrading this relic, which not only makes you start with less health, but also makes it so every time you stop shooting, your weapon randomizes to something else. And I also have to defeat the bosses on regular. And after defeating a bunch of main bosses, I found out that to do things easier, I could go to King Dice, and every boss I defeated there also counted. And well, that was definitely the play, because I ended up clearing almost the whole damn board. And when I beat my final boss to get the last upgrade, I also get this. Let's go! I just cleared the whole King Dice board and got it. That was a lot easier than I thought. I thought it was gonna be harder. And now finally, the most painful things to do here. One is to get an S rank for my final trophy, and the other is to defeat Saltbaker on expert for that satisfying 300%. And starting with the S rank, I hopped into the easiest fight for me, figuring it would be no problem since I was literally 1 health away when I did the expert run. But well, I don't know if it was my nerves or what, but I just could not do it for the life of me. I mean, I spent a good half hour here with no luck at all. So I said screw it and hopped over to this flying one. And after a few rough tries, I ended up getting this crazy rank. Oh, I did it! I did it! Oh my god, I was off by 9 seconds, I think. But at least that made me realize I was able to do this one, and I pushed on and on until I got this run a little while after. That's my last hit. Yes! Yes, 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 cooked to perfection. Oh, that's the last trophy. But now with that final trophy out of the way, all that's left is Chef Saltbaker on Expert, and let me tell you, doing this without getting a trophy was a little bit unmotivating. That 300% on screen was all I needed, and just like the first time here, it started off pretty rough in the beginning, especially considering the super speed first wave I was talking about is even more sped up now. And well, I was barely able to even hit the second wave within my first half an hour of trying. But of course I eventually got used to the speed of everything and I was consistently hitting the second wave. But compared to the first, this time was crazy. There was a lot more health here this time around, and the movement of everything is baffling, leaves very little room to navigate. And even on the few times I did make it to the last wave, stuff like this would happen. Oh, as if I just spawned on a blade. That's goofy. What? Or this. No, what the fuck? What? What? No, what? But at least I was able to beat this one in less time than the snowman. I was only here for about an hour until I got this final nice last run. Alright, I'm gonna use this time. The green one instead of the red one. Maybe that will help me. Oh, 3 health? It's done. It's done, buddy. This is mine. Okay. I need to stop getting cocky, I guess. Yes, 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 yes! I beat the game on Expert. I beat the game on Expert. I beat the game on Expert. Holy shit. It's done. And I got the A rank. Now this was for sure my hardest video game accomplishment so far. I am just not good at games like this, but it's also motivated me to complete some harder games out there. So make sure to subscribe and let me know what games you want to see me complete in the comments. Oh, and drop a like if you enjoyed the video. You can also check out another one of my videos right here. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.